when I started working here, I was on this salary doing this, this, and this. Now I'm on the same salary and I'm doing 10 times more. How does that make sense? I guarantee you there's someone at work who earns more than you but does nowhere near as much work. And that's why in today's video, I'm gonna equip you with the tools and strategies to help you get the salary raise that you deserve. Because chances are, if you're not one of those annoyingly entitled people at work, we all know a few, then a salary conversation isn't one that likely comes easy to you. So with that, let's get straight into it. All right, first things first, you wanna schedule a meeting. So requesting a meeting with your manager to discuss your performance and your compensation is the first step towards asking for a raise. When you request a meeting, make sure to be clear of the purpose of the meeting. This will allow your manager to prepare and allocate enough time for the discussion. It's up to you if you want to send an email or if you want to talk to your manager in person. An example of an email you might send is, "Hi Bob, I would like to request a meeting to discuss my performance and compensation. Is there a time next week that works for you?" Number 2, you want to prepare your case. So before the meeting, prepare a list of accomplishments and contributions to the company, including any new skills or responsibilities that you've taken on since your last raise. This is going to help demonstrate your value to the company and help your manager understand why you deserve a raise. You want to be specific and use data to support your claims. The more specific, the better. Highlight any achievements that exceeded your job description, such as completing projects ahead of schedule, bringing in new clients, or leading successful initiatives. These are all very important. For example, you can say, "In the past year, I've successfully completed several high-profile projects resulting in increased revenue for the business. I've taken on additional responsibilities such as training new employees, and I've developed new skills that have benefited the company. For instance, I increased our social media engagement by 50% by implementing a new marketing strategy." Whatever you say, make sure you back it up with results. Use statistics and data that will help your case as well. All right, number 3, you want to research the market. This is very important and not many people do it. Do some research on industry salaries for your role and experience level to determine if your salary is competitive. Chances are you're probably being underpaid, so it's good to do this research. This information will help you make a more persuasive case for your raise. There's no point going into a meeting without any data, any research, because then when it comes to the discussion, it's all about bargaining power, right? You want to have as much bargaining power as possible to sway your manager to give you that salary increase. If you don't have the points to back yourself up, there's no point even scheduling that meeting. In terms of where to find comparative salaries, you can use websites like Glassdoor or LinkedIn to get an idea of the average salary for your job title in your area or in the country that you're working in. It's also important to take into account your level of experience and any additional qualifications like the CFA, for example, that you have, because these will help boost your salary and your earning potential. You can say to your manager, "Based on my research, the average salary for someone in my position with my experience is, I don't know, £50,000. As such, I believe my contributions to the company warrant a salary increase to this level or above." Next, you want to be confident. This is very important. Be confident in your abilities and the value that you bring to the company. After all, if they didn't need you there, you wouldn't be there. Your employer is unlikely to offer a raise if they sense that you lack confidence in yourself. After all, if they think that you're half-hearted, then they're more senior than you. They'll just take the piss if they need to. So be confident. Know that you are there because you've earned your place in that spot and you're trying to get what you deserve, and that's only fair. Remember, you're asking for a raise because you believe you deserve it. It's not like you're going into a meeting asking for 10 times your current salary. That won't make sense. But you deserve a raise because you can hopefully back it up with all the reasons that you want a raise for. Next, just like if you're going to go and pitch a client or if you're preparing for any other meeting, you have to focus on preparation. So practice makes perfect. Practice your pitch before the meeting and be prepared to answer any questions that might come up or any objections that your manager might have. You want to have an answer ready for everything that they might say in that meeting. That's very important. For example, you can say, "I'm confident in my abilities and my contributions to the company. I believe that I deserve a salary increase based on my performance and the value that I bring to the company." Yo, before we carry on, if you're interested in learning from the trainers that teach the top 4 global investment banks, analysts and associates, check out the first link in the video description and use the code AFZAL25 and you can get 25% off all of their courses. Now let's get back to the video. All right, number 5, you want to set realistic expectations. You don't want to go in there and ask for an unreasonable raise. Instead, you want to be prepared to negotiate and compromise if needed. Keep in mind, when you go into this meeting, your manager is going to want to give you the least possible raise because it probably comes out of their budget or the team's budget, what have you. And so you need to understand when you go into that salary conversation, there's going to be push and pull. You're trying to get a raise, manager might give you a raise, but there might be more room to go higher and you want to go as high as possible. They're going to try and lower it, right? So you need to work out how best to negotiate or work your way around that conversation. Setting realistic expectations will increase the likelihood of a positive outcome. It's also important to take into account the financial situation of the company and any budget constraints they may have. This is very important because if you work for an investment bank, for example, if the team you're in or the division you're in has had a really bad year, then chances are a raise isn't going to be on the books. If, for example, the division or the team has had a stellar year and it's been super positive in terms of revenue, then it's more likely that you're going to get a raise if you ask for it that year. In addition, you've got more to talk about if you've contributed to the additional revenue in any way, shape or form. Regardless of if you're junior or if you're senior, everyone plays a role. So you need to figure out what you did specifically and then use those to kind of bargain a higher salary. You could say to your manager, I'd like to request a £10,000 raise, which I believe is a fair increase based on my performance and industry standards. However, I'm open to negotiating the amount if that is not feasible. If I wanted a 10k increase, I would go in saying I want a 15k increase and try and get 12.5k, but my bare minimum would be 10k, right? So keep that in mind. Number 6, you want to be specific. Instead of asking for a vague increase, state a specific amount that you believe is fair based on your research and accomplishments. The more specific, the better. In life in general, the more specific you are, whether it's goal setting, asking for a raise, whatever it is, it's usually better to be more specific. If it's vague, then you're likely gonna end up getting nowhere, and then you're gonna leave that meeting having wasted everyone's time. And so this will help your manager understand exactly what you're asking for and make it easier for them to make a decision. The last thing you want is to prolong things. If you're vague, it's just gonna prolong things. And don't ask for too little. For example, a £2,000 raise is literally only around £133 a month extra after taxes, which is nothing. So make it a meaningful raise. If your manager comes back to you and offers you a number, what's the actual number after taxes split over 12 months? Because that's going to be how much is entering your bank account at the end of the month or after the raise is implemented. For example, you could say, I would like to request a raise of £15,000 per year. This is based on my research into industry salaries and my contributions to the company. I'm happy to discuss this further and provide additional information if required. Number 7, here's a good one. You want to focus on the future. You want to emphasize your potential contributions to the company in the future. This will show your manager that you're not just thinking about the past, but you're committed to the company's success and looking for ways to continually add value. For example, you can say, I'm excited about the future of the company and I believe that I can make a significant contribution or contributions in the coming years. Specifically, I plan to, and then insert your specific goal, which I believe will result in increased revenue and business efficiency for our team or for the division, whatever it might be. Then you can say, with a salary increase, I will be even more motivated to work towards these goals and contribute to the success of the company. You can always say you've got lots of recruiters reaching out to you on LinkedIn from competitors and they're offering similar or higher salaries as well as better benefits packages. So keep that in mind as well. On the topic of benefit packages, number 8 is a good one. Consider non-salary perks. If a salary increase isn't feasible at the moment, consider asking for non-salary perks such as additional vacation days, flexible work hours, or a professional development budget. These perks can be just as valuable as a salary increase and can demonstrate that you are thinking creatively about how to add value to the company. So these perks have monetary value, so sometimes the company might be dead set on not giving you a salary increase, but don't go in that meeting and come out with nothing. Try and get something, try and get what you can, and that's often non-salary perks. For example, you can say, if a salary increase isn't possible at the minute or at the moment, I would like to discuss the possibility of additional vacation days or a flexible work schedule. This would allow me to recharge and come back to work even more productive and motivated. Alternatively, a professional development budget would enable me to acquire new skills that would benefit the company. So whatever you're asking for, try and tie it back to benefiting the team or the division or the company. And last but not least, follow up. Very, very important. After the meeting, send a follow-up email to summarize the key points of the discussion and any agreements that were reached. This will ensure that everyone is on the same page and will help you maintain a positive relationship with your manager. Very important, don't forget the follow-up. The last thing you want is your manager forgetting or even leaving the firm and nothing being recorded, so you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. You can write, thank you for taking the time to discuss my performance and compensation with me. As we agreed, blah, blah, blah. I'll provide a list of my accomplishments and contributions to the company for your review. I look forward to continuing to contribute to the success of the company. And then once they come back, just make sure everything's on email. So then if you get a new manager, they're aware of what's happened, they're aware of what's been agreed, rather than nothing being on record. In summary, asking for a salary raise requires preparation, confidence, and clear communication. By doing everything I've spoken about in this video, you can increase your chances of success tenfold compared to going about asking for a salary raise without a proper plan or strategy. It truly is all about bargaining power and persuasion. Remember that asking for a raise is a negotiation, so be prepared to compromise and be open to alternative solutions if a salary increase isn't feasible at the moment. It's better to go into these meetings with your manager and come out with something rather than coming out with nothing. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you're new around here, which most of you probably are, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.